Then you can turn around and give up on your dreams, or you can just push forward and be a gangster. Your boy Uncle Matty's out here wheeling and dealing, ripping and gripping, tearing and swearing.
All right, Matt, let's see if this works out.
Moment of truth. Let's see if my tape measure ain't broken.
Do you have to go in the water again? Maybe I'm gonna throw some saws in that are plugged in.
Maybe I'm cranky.
I'm Kristen, and this is Matt. We've spent the last 4 years sailing our $5,000 Craigslist boat to some of the most beautiful places in the Caribbean. From spearfishing in South Andros, Bahamas, staying in a treehouse and riding horses through the rainforest of the Dominican Republic, to even dodging hurricanes in Puerto Rico. We could have never imagined what this adventure would become. After gaining more sailing experience, we knew we had to make some serious upgrades to our boat if we wanted to keep this journey going. So we decided to go all in with our 40-year-old boat and get a new engine. We soon realized that we were in for more projects than we originally planned on. There's going to be some major changes coming up, so hit subscribe and join us for the journey. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Sailing GBU. We're back with another episode, and today we're on a fast-paced journey to get some stuff, and basically we're going to be explaining to you today why we don't just finish one project and then move to the next, why we just have a million open projects and we haven't finished anything.
Yeah.
So let's go run right along. We don't have much time to wait.
We got a boogie. We don't have wheels, so when you got to get wheels, you can't make them wait. So we got to fly. We got to go try to catch the ferry. All right, so as you know, we're on an island. So first things first, we got to catch the ferry. We got to rip it over there because getting on and off the island of supplies ain't easy. All right, so we're on the van now. We ran off the ferry. It's a non-stop hustle to get to where you gotta go, and we're hustling.
All right, guys, so since we had to get a taxi today and we have to go to multiple places, that's what makes it a little difficult and takes up your whole day. So we already went grocery shopping. Matt has all the pounds on his back like a mule, and now we have to walk to the hardware store where we'll finally get our taxi to go back to the boat. So just getting supplies is one reason that you try to plan as much as you can to get all the supplies for your projects, but some things just come up that you could never have planned for.
And that's when the adventure happens. You know, when things go tits up, that's when it starts to get fun. When your taxi and picks you up, says, I can't come back and get you. And I'm like, dang. He's like, but don't worry, there's another guy there in the parking lot. He'll get you up. So right then you can turn around and give up on your dreams, or you can just push forward and be a gangster. All right, so now I got some wood on I'm getting it cut down smaller so that maybe I can wheel and deal with the taxi, and maybe the taxi will let me put it in there. Because the taxi here is all these big old vans, so I'm like, they might have time, they might have room. So your boy Uncle Matty's out here wheeling and dealing, ripping and gripping, tearing and swearing. I don't know any more rhymes. I don't think that's it. I'm all out of rhymes. Okay, we got both of our bags. We got everything, right? Oh.
I think so.
right, so now that I finagled the wood onto the taxi, which was no easy task, but my dog Fernando helped me out and said, you know what, fine, whatever, let's do it. Now I have to finagle it onto the ferry, which it's a busy day. It's a little holiday over here, so I don't think they're gonna let me slide, but maybe they'll let me slide. I don't know. Give me some good, some good juju's through
If
the screen.
not, we gotta get the dinghy.
If not, I'll have to get the dinghy and I'll have to run, and it's a little choppy today, so I'm
And then
really
by
not
that
looking
time,
forward.
this whole entire day is over.
The day is over. So yeah, if you think you're getting stuff done, you're not getting nothing done. You're just riding around gathering things. But the next 3 days, I think, will be very fruitful. I have high hopes. What do you think?
We'll see.
All right, thank God for us, we got our trip saved. We were able to bring everything on one shot. Nothing was too painful. Obviously, it still took us 4 hours to go do this crazy stuff, but that's just life sometimes. All right, guys, so it's the next day. Crazy running around yesterday, but long story short, the reason we have a lot of projects open and we're not really closing them fast enough for, a lot of people's likings, ourselves included, is because one, resources. It's hard to get things Amazon to you. Obviously, you have a million different pieces that we have to go get. If you are missing one thing, it can cost you the day, and you gotta go find the parts. Sometimes just gotta finagle a bunch of pieces together and make something work. The second thing is transportation. It's kind of hard to get off the island. It takes a long time just to get on the ferry and get a taxi and all that stuff. It's an adventure, but it can take up most of the day. 3 is just the time. If you do hit a roadblock with one project, you don't want to just wait for maybe 2 days to get a taxi. You don't want to burn that time at the Airbnb or the time in the marina, so you just jump to the next project, and you got to kind of juggle a little bit. You got to be more of a juggler.
Multitasker. We're multitasking hardcore here.
But the projects are coming down. I'm starting to feel better about it, and we're getting there. And the thing is too, is I got to go to school. I don't know how to do a lot of these things. The reverse inverted hinge, the 7-way adjustment hinge. The first time I held that thing was the first time I ever held that thing in 37 years of living. So I have to learn these projects also. I've never used a router, so if I got to play with that stuff. So
this was supposed to be a long story short.
Long story short is long story long. Sorry, excuse me. So either way, let's get some projects closed out today. All right, guys, so I was getting ahead of myself on my engine replacement. I said, okay, I got my engine, I can throw that bad boy in there, but I got to work on my prop also. I got to make sure that this prop works for the way that this engine spins. So I got to go down there and I got to get it off, and I got to get my prop up here so I can inspect it, send it to the prop people and say this is what I need. But I'm a little worried because one time I dove out of marina and all y'all said I was going to get electrocuted. So Kristen, what's your plan if I go belly up in here? How are you going to get me out?
First, I'm gonna take video to show that I didn't do it. I did not kill you.
So you didn't put me on an episode of Snapped? Now that we've achieved some
Yeah,
YouTube...
because I feel like these videos that have been counting up to this day, it seems like we've been fighting, so I don't want that evidence on me.
I feel like you're making yourself seem pretty suspicious right now, though. Like...
You know what, just get in that water.
I'm gonna go in there and I'm getting the prop. That was not easy to get off. These old bolts were pretty, I don't know, a bunch of animals grew around them. Uh-oh. Baby crabs. Live your life, crabs. Live your life. Anyway, it was really hard to get those bolts off because the prop wants to spin. I don't have it attached to an engine anymore, as we know, so it just free spins. So I had to hold the prop and wrench that thing off all whilst floating. Luckily, I'm a super beast, so it's no real tall order for me. But anyway, I got the thing off. I want to say this is probably, just by eyeballing it, 16 inch, 15 inch, 13 inch. What do you think, babe?
I don't know.
I don't know. Well, we're gonna measure it though, and we're gonna find out so I can order my new prop, because I think this one's pretty well toast, but we might keep her as a spare.
Alright, on to the next project. On the previous video, we started making our drawers in our kitchen area, and we ended up running out of time, and then we started, Matt off camera made a drawer that seems to be working pretty well, but then we ran out of sliders. So on that trip we just went on, we got new sliders, and it's time to finish the drawers.
I got this drawer in here. I had to figure it out. I wanted to do it off camera because it's like a bunch of little micro adjustments I had to make, because I was trying to fit this into the old hole. Hashtag that's what she said. But I was having no luck. So basically what I had to do is this old hole, I had to square it, completely build out a little more frame, and now my drawers are push button. They do a great job. High quality, high class, luxury
Wait a
drawers.
second here. So you couldn't ever say cabinet door, and you kept calling it a drawer, and now that you're finally working on drawers, you call them doors?
I got dyslexia. I
No,
got brain
you
damage,
don't.
bro. I'm backwards in my brain. But anyway, I got these cool hinges or sliders, and they have this mechanism that locks them when they're closed. So I think for sailing, like, you could probably pull it open if you had to, but I think it's going to do really well for us. Make things nice and smooth. Since I'm always spilling spaghetti sauce in here, these flat drawers are going to be easy to clean.
More like your iced coffee spillages.
I do spill a lot of iced coffees. But yeah, I'm hyped about these. I'm excited to get into it. And I think now that I have a square area to work with, it's hip to be square. Alright guys, so if it feels like I'm making a lot of measurements, it's because, as you can see, we got a lot of these pieces on the ground. You got some pieces that are this big, and then you got some pieces that are this big, and maybe even bigger. And the reason the bigger ones happen is because you're not economical with your wood. What you have to do is make your measurements for your drawers, and then, you know, if the side walls are going to be 4 inches, you make as many 4-inch measurements as you can and say how many drawers can I make out of this wood versus how much of this wood am I going to have to throw away. When the sheet is $150 a pop.
And hard for us to get.
And hard to get. This may, you know, right now it just seems like some crap, but this might be $1 or $2 that I'm holding in my hand that eventually I'm going to have to crumple up and throw in the garbage. So make a lot of measurements. Measure your wood in your drawers before you start cutting, because once you start cutting, you can't really get it back unless you want to like fiberglass it back together. So that's why I'm measuring so much.
Let's see if this works out.
Moment of truth. Let's see if my tape measure ain't broken.
Seems a little sticky.
Yeah, but that's fine. It's definitely not.
That's fine.
No, I gotta shim it up here. It seems to be, it slides fine in the, it's just rubbing here. And then it's rubbing that way. But I almost feel like maybe I could twist it if I raised that side up a little bit. So let me do a experiment here. So this side would need to go up, so this little lever would actually have to go down. Alright, so you can see there the drawers are in. They're pretty close, but I'm missing a 16th there, maybe an 8th. Yeah, it's probably closer to an 8th than a 16th. So those things matter when you're doing these because obviously you want a flush face. And you can see it when they're stacked on top.
Yeah, so a flush face is harder than if you would have just made a regular drawer.
Yeah, because you're not going to see, if the drawers are an inch apart, it's harder to see a 16th there. But when they're stacked, you know, right next to each other, you can see it easily. But luckily these things have some micro adjustments.
This is how you can spiral out and spend 3 hours on one drawer.
This is how you can spiral out and spend 3 hours on one drawer. Especially, you know, when you want it perfectly flat and perfect. You can make a million little things that the day can get away from you. But when it comes out perfect and you put the peanut butter pie on there and you're like, ooh wee, that's a nice boat there. That don't look like the boats I saw on the hunterforums.com. If you know, no hate to my engineers out there, but it wasn't what I'm going for. So it ain't easy, but it's worth it.
Alright guys, so Matt has a little more work to do on those. They're going to be completed. It's going to be good. And we've got a lot going on. As you can see, maybe behind me, we're trying a different type of pie. It's a caramel pie, maybe.
We got a lot of pies going on.
We're trying a few different covers. Obviously, we have to practice. We've never done any of that stuff before. So let us know what you think if you like that color. Also, what else is new? Anything else is new? Oh, I have figured out with help of my contractor, is that what you'd be called?
Yeah.
With help with my contractor, I have found out and figured out a really good plan for my closet. So look for that in the future. And if you want to see any of our updates before the... Why are you laughing?
Just the closet, where it's a deluxe version closet. It's hilarious.
What?
It's very deluxe. You're going to see the closet, you're going to say, a closet for real? But we're really going luxe on our closet space. And it's going to be really great.
Anyways, it's really awesome. And if you want to see any of our updates ahead of time in the videos and you're curious to see what we're working on real time, head on over to Patreon. And what else? Besides you just totally burning my awesome closet. Guys, it's so cool. You guys are all going to be jelly. I'm so hyped. It's going to fit so much more clothes. And it's just going to be planned so much better than what they originally gave us.
Yeah, the closet is deep. The problem with the closet is it's like over arm's length depth, which anything that gets back there just ends up living there forever. It's not really a usable space. So I came up in my grand wisdom.
I think we both did. Anyways, let's save that for the future video.
Okay, we'll save it for the future video. But
When
we
we
solved
get to
the
that
problem.
project.
We solved some problems. Then we got on Amazon and solved even more problems.
Do you have to go in the water again? Maybe I'm going to throw some saws in that are plugged in.
Maybe I'm cranky. Maybe now we know I'm going to be on Snapped. I'm going to be featured on an episode of Snapped pretty soon.
Anyways, guys, thanks for watching our videos. We appreciate you guys sticking with us in our journey. And that's all I got to say.
Appreciate you sticking with us through the boatyard bullshit. Because I know it can get kind of boring, but I'm having a lot of fun. This boat is coming out. We're starting to get to some steps now where we're like, oh, it's going to be okay. We didn't trust the process. We didn't get along, but now we're like, huh.
Oh,
okay.
And now we are getting along?
I get it now.
I haven't noticed.
Well, we're getting to the point where we might start getting along at some point.
Oh, it's an opportunity to get along.
Exactly.
Now.
We're getting ourselves opportunities to get along.
Anyways, make sure you subscribe if you're new. You can come back for more of this madness and this mess. And hopefully by the next video, Matt cleans up his workshop and we can actually walk in here. So stay tuned for that, guys. Bye!
Bye!